Yes. Happy September.
Oh, there I am. Come on. I'm the president. I don't need to know technology. It is 4:30 on Thursday, September 26, 2019. I call this meeting of the Meridian Historic Preservation Commission to order. Roll call. Blaine Johnson is here. Don Kronk. Here. Josh Everts.
Here.
Jody Alt.
Present.
J.C. Neary.
Here.
Courtney McBride is not here. Donna Lusigan is not here. Councilman Ty Palmer, ex officio, is not here. Adoption of the agenda.
Mr. President, I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Neary, seconded by Commissioner Alt for adoption of the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of the August 22nd minutes.
Mr. President,
Commissioner Alt.
Jody Alt, move that we approve the previous minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Alt, seconded by Commissioner Kronk for approval of our August 22nd meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of the monthly financials. Always a highlight.
Mr. President,
Commissioner Neary.
offline, we discussed briefly ordering the maps from Modern Printers for our Atlas project. And I believe we needed to ratify that expense on the record tonight, but I want to clarify, is that yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and it was, what was our final total on that one? I apologize if it's in here.
I
and
believe it should, I'll do the math really quick.
Oh, there it is, right there, because that's what we need to do. So I know we have it on our old business, but I don't know if we should approve the financial statement and that maybe as one motion? Because it's not reflected on our financial statement yet, is it? Not yet.
Maybe we should ask Mr. Neary.
I think yes is the right thing, actually. That was a good answer. I think we need to approve the financial statement as presented, knowing that we're going to ratify an expense. So.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So then I move we adopt the financial statement as presented pending 6A.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Neary, seconded by Commissioner Alt for approval of our monthly financial statement. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Oh, we're just trucking right along here. 5, new business. Discussion regarding Meridian Speedway inclusion in virtual tour set. Get to my notes. I personally think it'd be a great idea to have pictures of the Speedway. We can go through the
Yes.
archives and pull old ones that we can digitize and put in there. So with that being said, looks like Hillary was discussing with Brandon Hall the possibility of that, so maybe we need to continue talking with Brandon, see what it would cost to do the virtual tour of the Speedway. Comments?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Neary?
are we still considering a nomination of that,
Yes,
which probably makes that tour that much more critical?
I agree.
Okay. And that actually could be helpful in the nomination process, I would imagine, too.
I would
just some
think
of that
so.
legwork in advance. Yeah. I can reach out to Brandon.
Okay.
Between now and next meeting and see just how far that conversation went. I imagine the cost of that is similar to what he's done for others, but we'll find out and get more details for next meeting.
I would think probably, what did we do for the mint farm? 'Cause it's probably
Did
gonna
we
be
get that final
comparable.
invoice from him, from Eggers? I don't know that we did. So Whole Films, it was for the 2 test sites and then the platforms, which included Pine Street School and Main Street, that's in here, at 2,500 through Whole Films. And I think that's the only, there's photos for the Black Cat Mint Farm, but that doesn't have the tour statement in it yet. So somewhere between 2,500 and 800, depending on the expanse of how far the project completion is, it looks like,
I would say it's probably close to the 2,500.
probably.
But yeah, if you want to reach out to Brandon, talk to him, see what he says.
Okay.
It'll go into FYI 2020's budget anyway.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Commissioner Edwards.
given that the Speedway is our number one destination location in our downtown on a regular basis, I think to showcase this and be working towards getting it listed is super, super smart.
Okay.
So yes, definitely we should be following up on this.
So Commissioner Neary, if you talk to Mr. Hall and see what he thinks, if he wants to meet with us down there to go over that, depending upon Commissioner Everett's schedule or my schedule, we can do that. We can just arrange a time with Meridian Speedway and
Okay.
go talk to him.
Perfect.
Okay,
I'll make it happen.
thank you. So we expect a full report next month. Oh, moving on to old business. 6A, approval of purchase of 50 copies of the Meridian Atlas for a not-to-exceed amount of $775. I think there is a copy down there.
Gorgeous.
Also, they are all in.
Okay,
That was fast.
I have looked at it. It is quite the project, so I think Lila is pleased.
What's the intent? Will you remind me what, is she handing these out? Or are they just for viewers to come and look?
Her intent is I think, hand some out maybe to the mayor, city council. But if we can sell some,
Okay.
or if the History Center can sell some.
Man, these turned out really nice. Okay.
Beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh, and our cute little logo.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome sauce. Do we know how much they cost? Have they set a price?
775.
No. I mean, what they're selling them for.
Mr. Chair,
That's our-
Mr. Everts, they are $15.50 each for the 50. I'm not sure if the price goes down if you order them in larger quality or quantity. Lila just offhanded mentioned perhaps selling them for 25 in the History Center.
Wonderful. Thanks, Chris.
She also made some recommendations based on receiving it after it was printed as far as where the binding is, perhaps moving it to the top in the next print, and even maybe adding something from the mayor or about the mayor in the next printing if you go that route.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll reach out to Lila, talk to her, see who she wants to give stuff to, and then the remainder we can just have in the History Center, and may just print up a little sign or something for her. That doesn't have to be anything special, but Atlas for sale, something like that. But I'll talk to Lila and see what she wants to do with those. So Chris, was the final expenditure 775?
Yes, we've not got the invoice yet, but that was what they gave me, 1550 50 at 1550 with 775.
Okay, and you expect that before,
Yes, they will be paid before the end of the fiscal year on Monday.
okay.
Mr. President?
Commissioner Rivers,
Then I move that we approve the purchase of 50 copies of the Meridian Arts Atlas, not to exceed the amount of $775 prior to the end of this fiscal year.
I second that.
motion by Commissioner Everett, seconded by Commissioner Alt for the expenditure not to exceed $775 for the Meridian Atlas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President,
Carries. Thank you.
could I just ask a question? So when the History Center is talking about selling them, for who? Is the money for the Historical Society? Is that where that's going?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And they would treat it like a donation or,
Treat it like a donation.
okay, great, thank you.
That's my understanding.
Mr. President, I didn't think about it in advance of all of this, and I apologize, but if we were to do a second round of this, it might be worth handing them out to the elementary schools, because they've got the brochure, and the fourth graders are still doing the Meridian History project each year as part of the curriculum, so that might be, but I think there's 26 total in the district when we went around and handed out those brochures, so maybe for a future printing, we factor that in, and it might be nice to supplement for the library or something.
Okay. We'll see how fast these go.
Yeah.
And then, but that's a good thought.
It always seems like at the end of the fiscal year, we have a budget for marketing materials, and that might be something to plan for this time next year.
Correct.
My guess would be, Mr. President, members of the commission, you'll have 26 left of these 50 that you probably could use as well.
Maybe not.
I'm just spitballing out there. I think there might be 26 left, so.
Yeah, be down there.
Our city attorney is spitballing.
Well, after he was
On
on the
the
news.
record.
After he was on the news.
I know, he's a big deal.
I know.
He's a big deal. Just ask him.
Okay, we will continue on with 6B, continued from last month. Make sure I get the name right. NACP, National Alliance Preservation Commissions, Form 2020 is next year going to be in Tacoma, Washington. And it was a thought of mine, rather than the Past Forward Conference, maybe doing that one. This one may be a little bit more aligned with us as a commission rather than National Trust for Historic Preservation. So I think Hillary and Chris both reached out to him. Nothing's been set as far as pricing, but it is July 22nd through the 26th of next year in Tacoma. We are members, so our proposed registration rates are going to be $250. So I think overall, it looks like it's cheaper than, well, I know it's going to be cheaper than the Past Forward conferences. So I just want to let you guys know that's my thoughts. We don't need to make a decision tonight, but we'll just continue it. Chris, they didn't say when they were going to bring or have all that information available, did they?
Mr. Chair, they did not. They simply provided the email saying they haven't said it, but this was previous years to give us an idea.
Okay. So we will just, I guess, have that as a continuing item. We may not do anything until we know for sure what's going to go on. So just thoughts out there. Any other discussion on that? What do you guys think about that rather than the Past Forward conference?
It's good.
Okay, fine.
Saving money and having it be more applicable sounds good in my book.
All right, we'll go on. All right, we'll go on to item 7, reports. Told you, Pete, we'd get out of here soon. We're quick. Pete Laurent from SHPA was here to talk to us regarding our CLG status and how to work with, I guess, the new comprehensive plans and objectives. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you, and as Commissioner Johnson said, my name is Pete Larange. I am the Historic Preservation Planner and Certified Local Government Coordinator with the Idaho State Historic Preservation Office. And kind of what we wanted to talk about a little bit tonight, Hillary asked me to come out. It sounded like you guys are maybe getting ready to update or do a new 5-year plan for the commission, which is something we at SHPO wholly endorse. We love our CLGs having plans. Generally speaking, we at SHPO either end up funding preservation plans, through the grant program, have a consultant come out and work with you to produce the plan, or, we are available as a resource as you're going through the process to review your plan, help you put together workshops or public meetings, kind of whatever you want to do on that. We would encourage you as you go through that process
Thanks.
to refer back to the state historic preservation plan, just to kind of help make sure that everyone is moving preservation in the same direction. Obviously the state plan is going to be very, very broad, opposed to one community, but it's got some good information in there and some good ideas in terms of where we would like to see preservation go on a statewide basis. Local plans obviously play a big role. So, that's about it that I had as far as formal comments. One of the trainings that we do offer, or that I offer, is actually a workshop on doing historic preservation plans. So if there is interest in doing that, I am more than happy to come out and do that workshop with you. I will warn you up front, I do expect participation in the workshop. It's not a lecture, it actually is a workshop where we would start to go through and actually do some of the planning process through a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I put that out there. If that's something you would like, please let me know, and I'm happy to come out and do it. Just did one of those recently for Clearwater County, and we took about 2 hours just for that workshop going through. So this is not a do it over your lunch break sort of thing. This is one we want to make sure that we schedule time. Happy to come out and do it.
Do you do that during the day, during the evenings? Most of the people here work. Josh does not.
No, I have no job.
I am at your disposal.
Okay.
My job is flexible enough that, things like attending commission meetings or doing trainings in the evenings or on the weekends is not a problem. It goes down on my time and I end up using it for vacation. It doesn't bother me in the least.
Okay. Mr. Neri, if we were to hold a workshop to work on our plan, is that something that has to be noticed, or is it, since it's a workshop, we can just have a time and do it?
Mr. President, if you're going to have a quorum of your commission to do that, which I assume you would, yeah, you would still need to notice it.
Okay. I think that would be a lot of help to us. We have a good working plan right now that was done 5 years ago. So our last discussion was that we would just do it as a commission, not hire it done, but just review it, edit it, so it's more relevant for today and not 5 years ago. So that's our beginning point or platform. So I think, I'm speaking for myself, but if we sit down and get our thoughts together, then we may just call on you and then sit down and get a time and have you review that with us. Make sure we're on the same page.
Yep, yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Any other comments?
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
what
you,
you
Pete.
do.
If you don't mind, I'll mention a few other things
Go ahead.
going on with SHPO and
Yeah.
that I'll bring to your attention. Speaking of planning and our state plan, our current one has about two years and, 3 months left on it. So not immediately, but in the next probably 18 months, you'll start getting communications from our office about our next plan update. And we really do want to make sure that our local partners are involved in that process because it is intended to be a statewide plan. It's not just a SHPO board plan. So, kind of keep that in mind as we're going forward. A couple other things. The next round of CLG grants, the call for applications will come out October 1st, which is next Tuesday, as scary as that is. And it will be due December 31st by the end of business. So some things to consider in terms of grant projects. You were talking about the NAPC forum. We highly recommend that that conference for our commissions because it is a conference specifically for Preservation Commission members. I've been to it several times in the last few years. It's a really useful conference. It's got a lot of good information, a lot of good networking. And let's face it, Tacoma is really easy to get to from here. That is something that is an eligible grant project for the CLG grants. So, you can apply to us for funds to send commission members. And our funds can cover the cost of registration, travel costs, whether that's driving or flying, we don't care. Lodging, up to GSA per diem rate, at the GSA rate, as well as the per diems at the GSA rate. So, we cover a fair bit on that, and that is going to be one of our top funding priorities for this coming year, is commissioner training and education through the forum, and then for the Heritage Conference, which will be next September. I don't remember the exact date. Somewhere in there, middle of September 2020, and that'll be in Pocatello this year. Not hard to get to. I strongly encourage you to consider applying for funds for one or both of those. Guarantee money to anyone because we do have 37 CLGs and expecting about $78,000 in grant funds available. So, obviously it is a competitive grant. Keep that in mind, and I would strongly encourage you to apply.
Is that a matching grant, or is that, if we were to apply for the forum conference, does that pay for everything? Or do we need to match the funds? You pay 50%, we pay 50%?
Our grants are a matching grant, 50/50. However, we do allow in-kind match. So your time as commission members would be able to count towards that. The current rate, and we'll see if it changes after the first of the year, but the current volunteer rate is $22.14 an hour. And our grant program allows you to start that match, count all of your work as commission members, and start that match as of October 1st of the grant year that you're applying, and count all the way through to, essentially the day that you submit your reimbursement request.
Okay.
So time can add up. Any city staff time that goes into the commission also can count towards match at full professional hourly rate, including fringe. So, it adds up. If you want to put cash in, we will not complain. But in kind is how most CLGs make up most of their match.
Mr. President?
Commissioner Neri?
For those, for like the hourly wage and the in-kind, your records, what type of records do you need from us? If we can start tracking our time theoretically beginning our next meeting, is it just keeping a copy of the agenda and what time we, called roll versus adjourn to the meeting or minutes or what? I mean, is there a form? What does that look like?
We do have timesheets available that you can use. Some communities use those, some use their own tracking systems. City of Sandpoint, for example, they just have a spreadsheet with each of their meetings listed across the top and each of the commission members down the side and the number of hours for that meeting for each commissioner. That's enough, as long as there is someone with the CLG who will sign off and say, yes, essentially, this is accurate to the best of our knowledge. Typically, city staff will do that. That's fine. When it comes to the city staff match, we don't ask for, copies of timesheets or that sort of thing, but we will need some documentation of, okay, this is how much the person's salary is, this is how much their, how much the city is contributing to their retirement, their health insurance, yada, yada, yada. Here's the total, here's what it breaks down to per hour, and this is the number of hours they put into it. And we're happy to help provide some examples and some guidance on that as well.
Is it only for formal meetings and I'm going to take Josh in my cases. If we have applications come through, we want to go look at a property, our time to go look at those properties that are on application, if it takes us an hour or 2 hours, is that applicable also?
If you're acting as a Historic Preservation Commission member, it counts.
Okay.
So, one of the questions we get sometimes is, okay, so we're reviewing this document that our consultant put together and we're, spending 5 hours a week at home reading it, does that count? Yes, that counts.
Okay.
If you're just, out attending, history-related event as a public citizen, no, that does not. But if you're working on something as a commission member, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
That's
quickly.
great information for us.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you
Any
very
other
much.
questions? Pete, I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
If you got any other questions on the CLG program or planning or anything like that, you've got my contact information. I'm more than happy to provide that help and be a resource.
And thank you personally for the Orchid Award. When was that? Was that 2 years ago?
Yes.
Or the,
That's actually Preservation Idaho.
oh, is that Preservation Idaho? Okay, I was going to say, well, you look like you're official, so I was just going to throw thank yous out there. So,
I'm official, but I'm state official, not nonprofit official.
got it.
Okay,
That's Preservation.
Thanks, Pete.
thank you.
Take care.
So, Mr. President, I did something bad. We needed to amend the agenda
Yes, we
at
did.
the beginning and.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sorry about that. So, Mr. Neri, we failed to amend the agenda because I forgot about an item we needed to add. How do we do it at this point?
So, Mr. President, members of the commission, Commissioner Neri, so is it urgent and an emergency?
No.
So that's the only thing in the Idaho Code, once the meeting has started, for you to amend the agenda, it has to be an emergency. Now, the emergency is whatever, if you determine it to be an emergency, but since you just said it was no.
I don't think we want to play that card for this.
No.
I don't know how many times we get to play that card, so I think we'll probably,
Yeah,
sorry,
kick
everybody.
it down the road. Yeah, I forgot to. Yeah.
I'm looking at it going, there it is. So, sorry.
I looked at it too, and I'm going, oh, yeah, this,
Oh, yeah, that other thing. So,
yeah.
Okay,
So
my bad. Next
We will
time.
make sure that that's on our October agenda. We won't mention the item, but it's on our October agenda.
Mr. President,
Mr. Evers,
before I motion for us to adjourn, on the item that dare not speak its name, I won't be here in October's meeting. So I would just ask that maybe we look at it in November, only because I would like to offer some thoughts on that since I prepared it.
Sorry.
Is that our emergency?
yes, that's emergency.
That might actually now Well, do we need it before that?
Well, that means that we would not be able to use it till December.
It is an emergency now.
Yeah.
What would make it an emergency?
Any of the logos or any of the marketing materials will print between now and December.
December.
We can't use it on.
And are you printing marketing materials between now and December?
Well, like typically at the beginning of fiscal year, we'll reevaluate like brochure costs and do we need to refill anything?
Because I know we're getting really, really low on our walking tour brochures.
Yeah, I mean, we would start to look at that now.
Okay. If the commission as a group thinks that's an urgency, that you cannot wait till December to have that approval, and you would be printing something before December, and the necessity for it, that's your call.
Are we supportive on that? Sure.
I am.
I am,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. So how do I do that now?
We
Now
motion
you
for
amend The
emergency.
agenda, you've already stated your reasons on that, so.
Mr. President, I move we amend the agenda to add the approval of the new historic preservation logo.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Neri, seconded by Commissioners Everts and Alt to amend the agenda for discussion of the logos. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Now we can start a discussion on our logo.
Mr. President,
Commissioner Everts.
with your permission, I would like to walk through how we got to where we're at to kick off this discussion.
Go for it.
Excellent. So commissioners, we started with the down select from 3 logos down to the upper left-hand corner, which is the one color black logo. That's what we presented last meeting. And then we talked about wanting to provide some color options. As a commission, we talked about sticking to the blue and gold, kind of the city colors. And coming up with some iterations that we could discuss and then select tonight. So I left that black one up there just because we will be using that black as our one color option. So if we ever printed something or produced something, embroidery or something that's one color, that would be our item that we would use, our element. The other 3 options that we provide here are just takes on that blue and gold. I'm not going to give my thoughts. I'm going to kind of talk you through some of the logic and the differences between these 3. In the upper right-hand corner, that is the only 2-color true option that we provide out of the 3. So it's just utilizing the straight blue and gold from the city's logo. We're wanting to emphasize the blue because that's a primary theme that we use in our city materials, but creating some very light accents with the gold. The bottom 2 options are basically adding a 3rd color to that design, which does provide a little bit more depth. As soon as you introduce a 3rd color, you're getting a little bit more vibrancy. But as we go to consider printing costs, when you go to 3 colors, you're increasing the cost of your printing. So we specifically provided these so we could look at them, but there would be, if we decided we liked one of those as our option. If we're doing 4-color printing, it's not an issue at all, but if we're printing in colors and having to pay for that, then that a 3-color option, which are the bottom 2, would be more expensive to reproduce. So that was the thoughts and went into these. And I'm done talking.
Thank you.
And these are in no way final. I'm not going to be offended if nobody likes any of them, or if we want to go for another round of these, but I want to get us something to talk about. I cede my time.
Personally, I like the 2 on the top. It's simple, and we do have to look at the overall cost when we start printing things up. So I like that one. I have no objections to the bottom 2. I think just for cleanliness and just money-wise, I think that just the blue and the gold is probably our best option. But I'm open for discussions by anybody else, so if anybody else has differing opinions.
I like the blue and gold, the top right. Comfortable with that.
It's very, it's simple, but shows very well. Because the one like right below it, that's almost too dark with the colors and the color. So, yeah, I like it too.
I'm top two.
Okay,
I move that we adopt the top two, our
Second.
logos.
motion by Commissioner Alt, seconded by Commissioner Neri for approval of the top two logos, the black and the white, and then just the blue, gold, and white logos that we can use for our use, I guess. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The
Mr. President?
The amended motion carries. Commissioner Evers.
If we are intending to make this move now, where should I be providing those art files as far as to the city for them to incorporate on webpage, Facebook, all that kind of stuff? Who should I give those to? And I can provide numerous formats. I'm probably going to give the Illustrator formats as well, just in case if I shrug off this mortal coil and I'm not around, probably the native art files, having those stored by the city is probably a good idea.
I would say city clerk's office.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Everts, yes, we will take those and make sure those go
Wonderful.
appropriate places. Also, while I have the mic, I'm looking at the historic walking tour brochure. They are actually in the process of proofing that for an order to be filled and placed next week. So if you direct me where that goes and what's changing, I can make sure that the 1,000 that are supposed to be ordered next week.
Emergency, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, emergency. Warning, warning. So Chris, I just send that to you? Okay, I'll email you. I'll send that tomorrow morning. Mr. President,
Commissioner Neri.
I move that this commissioner meeting of September 26, 2019, that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Everett, second by Commissioner Alt for adjournment. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any further discussion? We're out of here.
It was very efficient.